Ah, the old imploding air cleaner trick. They don't build trucks like they used to. Even the new Kenworths, not a patch on the old ones. Same for Scanias. What's he talking about Scanias for? I can hear the people tuning out already. Well, I've had two of them and they're bloody good trucks. But, like all things, as time goes on, they're finding cheaper ways of doing things. Plastic replaces metal, and this is an example of why that's not a good idea. So my first Scania had the standard air intake system. It had the air intake over the roof, pipe running down to a steel canister with the air cleaner element behind the cab. All good, never had a drama. Actually had two intakes. The other one was for the battery box, putting cold air on the battery box. With the new model, and mine was a 2017, but I think it changed early 2016, they deleted the air cleaner on the back of the cab and they relocated it behind the grille on the driver's side down near the headlight. The air intake was just below the windscreen. Now a mate of mine also had one of these, the 2016 R730. Mine was a 2017 R730. And lucky he told me about this happening because I would not have known what was going on. Now if you're running on the highway, that air intake, no problem in the world. Probably never ever going to have an issue. If you're doing commodities, which is what we were doing, you're running in harsher conditions and there's more likely for things to go wrong. So he was loading feed wheat, really bad quality feed wheat off farm. Probably half of it was chaff, and it was a good windy day, being southwest Victoria. It's always a windy day in southwest Victoria. And try as you might to stay out of the wind, you can guarantee it's going to get you one way or another. And when he finished, the chaff had built up on the windscreen wipers halfway up the windscreen. Anyway, he jumps back in the truck, goes to get going, hits the windscreen wipers to clear the windscreen, and of course, most of that chaff fell straight into the air intake just below the windscreen. He got out the gate, and as he put his foot down to build up speed, he heard a sound like a Dyson vacuum cleaner grabbing hold of the rug. A real high-pitched whine, sucking noise. What the hell's that? And before he could think about what it was, bang! And it was all over. Yeah, just like that little sub that imploded a couple of months ago now, something's got to give. And when you've got all that suction from the engine and you've got a blocked air intake grill, something's got to give. And it was the plastic canister. So thankfully the air cleaner element actually stopped any of the plastic getting into the engine, but not a good thing. Quite an expensive fix, and on top of that the inconvenience of being stuck on the side of the road without an air cleaner. Now I'm glad he told me about this, because I found myself in a similar situation a few weeks later. I too had just finished loading on farm, although chaff wasn't the issue. I got out the driveway, turned back onto the old highway, and was just getting up to road speed, and a bird flew across the windscreen and I hit the bird. The bird fell straight down the windscreen, behind the stone shield, straight into the air intake. And I heard that familiar sound of the Dyson grabbing hold of the rug, and I knew immediately what was about to happen. So I've literally hit neutral, turned the key off and rolled to a stop. Sure enough, that bird had completely blocked the air intake. A little bit of primitive surgery later, we're all good to go, didn't do any damage. But that's why sometimes the old ways of doing things are better than the new ones.